Here's the preview of the Baylor versus Iowa women's soccer game. And Baylor did win against Houston 3-0. Though it was some good shots taken by Houston, but the saves were spectacular in that shutout win or a clean sheet, as you come to speak in soccer terms. Some players to keep an eye on in Iowa. For sure, they're starting goalie at Monica Wilhelm. That's a 5'10" goalie. That's a senior. 2 goals allowed and 10 saves. But some offensive players that have started, offensive player that started every game is Haley Eidberg, number 2, 5'8" midfielder, senior. She only has 20 shots attempted, but 1 assist though. That's a lot of shots. For sure, Kendall Anderson, number 16, 5'6" midfielder. That's a junior. 3 goals on 9 shots attempted. That's a definite weapon right there. Of course, Camille Walker, number 22, 5'7" defender. That's a freshman. 1 goal on 2 shots attempted, which this is why I included her. Elle Otten, number 23, 5'5" forward. That's a sophomore. 2 shots attempted and 2 assists. Of course, Jersey Durr is number 25. That's 5'8" midfielder. That's a senior. 1 goal on 8 shots attempted. That's most of the production, though. I will put in the description below on the stats, because I did include started how many games, and granted, they do use 4 defenders, 4 midfielders, and 2 forwards every game in the season so far, so they could change it up if they want to. And Iowa's a team that didn't make the NCAA tournament last year, but they're 2-1 so far this year. They lost to UCLA, who's in the top 5 right now, 1-0. The other losses to Kansas, 1-0. They have wins over Cal Poly, DePaul, but DePaul is not that great. 4-0 in that game. Pacific, they tied last night. So, as you could tell, they don't score a bunch of goals. They have not. But I would say if you're Baylor here, you got to protect home turf if possible. And at least you got a good convincing win. And 2 of those goals were on set pieces. Like corner kicks. And, that's the thing. You got to execute those. And you had a goal by Matty Algie that was supposed to be a cross to somebody. And it went in instead. Which, hey, it don't matter. And that was in the second half as well. So, I do think you need to shut down definitely the Kendall Anderson, who has 3 goals on 9 shots attempted. That's obvious. She's the majority of the offense. Out of 5 goals this year, she has 3/5 of them. That's obvious. And you gotta make adjustments during the game, and be prepared for pressure, because it seems like they're gonna pack it in terms of defenders and midfielders. You gotta win those 50-50 balls, and of course, make some great saves when you need to, and try to score some goals on them, or try to score on them. It's going to be a challenge with this Iowa team. I know last year they didn't make the NCAA tournament, but they were a winning record team. So, and their program has turned it around some in the last few years or so. So, they're no slouch by any means. And Houston, they were a good team last year, but they didn't make the NCAA tournament. It's because of for both of these teams, it's because their RPI was not high enough and not enough quality wins. That's probably the only reason, besides not winning their conference tournament would help. That's the number one thing you got to do in order to ensure when you're on a bubble. So, and I know last time when you played a Big Ten team, you got beat 2-0. I don't think Iowa is as good as Wisconsin. I don't think so. But you never know, and it just depends on the matchup. So go out there and of course you gotta look at the film on them and make some adjustments on yourself. Because at times against Houston, Houston was getting some good shots, and they split two defenders on one time. You can't allow that to happen. And breaking like a breakaway situation, almost like a one-on-one, and somehow they didn't score. They just went too high, or the ball, of course, went so far ahead of the forward there that you could easily retrieve it and say nope. So, and granted, we don't know about the weather situation. I'm just like uncertainty because if it could be delayed if there's a bad weather situation, and it has to be played up to at least 70 minutes before if there is a stoppage. Period, because of the weather. Just try to get the play up to 70 minutes at minimum, because that would be counted as a full game for sure. Of course, if it gets played less, you gotta do it right away, or try to finish it and don't have to play like 68 minutes, for example. Then they would have to restart it and try to play the rest of the game. Because if they can't, of course, that would mean no contest. But they will include the yellow cards and red cards in the game. So just to keep an eye on. It's on Sunday at 7 o'clock Central Time in Waco. So just to make some notes about them. Anyways, if you like this content, hit the like and subscribe button. See you guys later. It's going to 400 subscribers and more by the end of this year.